Hey guys, welcome back to our second Commander Versus series. As you may know, Wizards of the Coast recently released Commander 2013, and in it there were 5 new decks with 100 cards, 15 new cards each. Today we'll be looking at the most hotly contested one. Everyone wants to buy it, Mind Seize. So we'll take a look at some of the interesting cards in this deck that I'll be doing battle with today. So here are some of the interesting cards. The main leading girl is Jeleva, Nephalia Scourge. She was actually the first of 2 commander cards previewed for this set, and she is the Grixis Zur the Enchanter. Zur the Enchanter is similar in that when he attacks, you tutor up an enchantment, but she is embracing their new commander policy, and that they want their games to be interactive and different depending on who you play with. So when she comes into play, each player exiles some cards, and then when you attack with her, you get to cast an instant or sorcery, combining with the Izzet League's love of spells and the Black's love of just messing with your opponent. You get to do that with her. So she is fun. Games will be different every time you cast her. It's going to be really fun to play with her. Do you think so too, Jesse?
Yeah, I think that's going to be very interesting. I'm really excited about the new, the tempting offers and the other kind of heavily more multiplayer politic kind of interactions. I'm very excited to see what Commander is going to start looking like here in the future.
Yeah, they begin to understand the format is not all super tournament heavy with spikes, but there can be that, but it's more of a casual play with your friends and make some chaos. So she's your main commander. The other new commander in the set is Nekusar the Mindraiser. A lot of commander players have tried to play the Wheel of Fortune, Underworld Dreams deck that everyone draws their cards at. Maybe you just kill them by making them draw their whole deck. With 100 cards, no easy task.
Yes, sir.
But this guy, at the beginning of each player's upkeep, they draw an additional card, which is bad because it's like a Howling Mind. Your opponent draws a card first. But his other clause is whenever an opponent draws a card, he deals 1 damage to them. So the price of knowledge is quite high. It's very steep.
Yep. It sort of reminds me of the old Phyrexian Arena enchantment from back in the day, but kind of affects everybody, except you don't take the life hit.
You don't. Yeah, he only hurts your opponents, which is something awesome to have. But he's the commander that, if you're wanting to play Wheel of Fortune or Time Twister, not illegal in Commander.
That's true.
He's going to do the job. I'm glad they put in a guy like this. So there's the commander and your lieutenant. Let's take a look at some of the other creatures. This guy right here, true name Nemesis. He's the scavenging ooze of the set, the bee's knees, the cat's meow, the creature that everyone wants to play with. Why do people want to play with him, Jesse?
Well, first and foremost, he's Merfolk, and it looks like he's going to fit right into the Legacy fish decks, and hexproof blue Tarmogoyf seems good.
Yeah, well, Tarmogoyf was blue to begin with. But second off, yes, he's a Tarmogoyf that he has essentially hexproof. Your opponent can't do anything to him. They can't block him. You can block their Tarmogoyf with him. Outside of a Liliana Edict, where you have no other creatures, but you'll probably have a Death Ride in play, or a Golgari Charm, or he's pretty much can't die to anything. Like, he's got protection from everything, from that play, from other sources. The Merfolk is just some little extra pudding on the cake, if you like pudding on your cake.
Who doesn't?
So we saw him pop up in Vintage, a Vintage Merfolk deck that happened to Vintage Champs, as well as Osip Lividawich's Blue-Red Delver deck that got 2nd at Legacy Champs. So a 3-1 for 3, you can't kill him, they can't block him, put equipment on him, go to town. He's currently about $40 or so sold out, and
Sounds about right.
think he might go up because you can't find him. He's in 1 deck, and he's the star breakout of the set.
Yep. I can just see his hands itching to get a hold of a Jite in Legacy and start
just like
smashing
out some elves.
Yep.
Merfolk's old rivals. So that's this guy. Never met this guy. This guy is really sweet. Then we have everyone's favorite Robot Owl, Baleful Strix.
Yep.
The first reprint because it seemed a lot of play in Legacy, and a Starless Bug, and a Birthing Pod decks, and everything. It's 2 mana, 2 for 1.
Flying,
awesome.
Death Touch, you know. Come at me, Delver. Come at me,
Delver. That's what it is. Against Rug Delver, good deck in Legacy, they don't want to see this card. You just want to 2-for-1 them into Oblivion. So you have 2 very good, expensive creatures in this deck. So Mind Seize is the deck to go with. Is my choice.
It seems good.
Yeah, the wise buy, if you will. And the third and final creature is Baleful Force. I know you've been clamoring from to finish the Verdant Force cycle they started in Tempest.
I have. I've been chomping at the bit.
Their whole life. They did Celestial Force and Magmatic Force in Magic the Gathering Commander, which came out in 2011, and they finished it in this set with Tidal Force and Baleful Force. So the forces all do something during each upkeep. The Baleful Force draws a card, and you lose a life because black draws cards and loses life.
Again, another Phyrexian Arena type
Another arena. This one's 8 mana, and you might think at 8 mana, I don't need any more cards. I've got my engines going. But for all those times when you just want to draw more cards, because who doesn't love drawing cards?
Nobody I know.
I mean, nobody that I know either. I'm not friends with them if they don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Dead to me.
Dead. So these are the 3 creatures. We can go for this one land. This land is Opal Palace. It is the command tower in this set. It is included in all 5 decks. And there are a lot of words on here, but let me break it down. It taps for a colorless mana. Wizards' New World Order thing saying that land should tap for colorless mana. Ivugan was special, but like since then, a land taps for colorless mana. No Adventurers Guild House.
Oh, jeez. Arcadian Masks?
If you want to look at that one. Yeah. So, but the other ability is you tap another colored mana and you get a mana that you can cast your commander with of his color identity, so blue, red, or black in Mind Seas. And when he comes into play, he gets +1/+1 counters equal to the number of times you've cast him this game.
So it works with the commander tax.
Commander tax, yeah. So the thing is, you want to play him with cheap creatures that you intend on casting multiple times later in the game. This one costs 4, then 6 and 8. So if I cast it for 8 mana, it's going to come and play with 3 extra counters on it. So it'd be 4, 6, and when you only need 21 damage to kill somebody, it gets substantial.
Yep, that's true. I really like that. Later on in the game, when your commanders cost more and more, but they're still the same. Like if they're cheap creatures, they got little bodies. But now this thing can help them get back into the game after your opponent's been built up for turns and turns.
After they've go for the throated and hero's demise your Jeleva over and over. It's just something good to help you commander have a bigger presence later in the game. So that's the land and the creatures. Let's look at some of the spells because we're blue, red, black. We're Grixis. We're the spell shard, if there is a shard. Esper sort of spells too, but Grixis is more spelly. Here we have Tempered Reflections. Tempered Reflections is part of the new 5-card Tempting Offer ability word cycle. Tempting Offer states that whenever you cast a spell, you do something. And then your opponents can also do that. But if they do it, you do it again. So like I said, it gives you more interaction, it gives you more play, bigger spells, like bigger impacting spells to happen. And it's a lot more fun, which is kind of what the whole goal of Commander is.
Oh yeah, I used to run older cards that try to do similar mechanics. Like I think it's Thieves Auction House.
Thieves Auction.
Thieves Auction.
Yeah, everyone gets involved in the bidding.
Yep, exactly. It's just stuff like that. And like I said earlier, I'm very excited to see where this is going to take everything.
Yeah. So Tempered Reflections is the blue one. You clone one of your guys. Someone else can clone one of your guys, but for every opponent that does it, you get another clone. So you get value, and then sure, if they can get value too, but you get even more value. So these are just value cards. Like it lets everyone join in the fun. Say you have a guy and you have 3 opponents, they all get a guy, but you get 3 extra guys. So yes, you're helping them, but you're helping yourself more than you're hurting your opponents, which is a net value increase for yourself.
Yep, precisely.
All right, let's look at the other spells. Illusionist Gambit. This card has a lot of words on it, such as cast only during the declared blocker step of an opponent's turn. What does that mean exactly? Well, this card is kind of like in the vein of Reigns of Power, where if we have a multiplayer game and someone's attacking me, I'm like, whoa, 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 don't attack me. Attack somebody else. So it stops all creatures from attacking whoever they're attacking. You're like, you have to attack somebody now, but it can't be me. So how about that guy?
The old switcheroo.
The old switcheroo. So that's what that card basically does. It's fun. In 1v1, it doesn't do much. It's a blue fog, but you know, that's okay.
Sometimes that's enough.
Sometimes that's enough. Blue's known for its fogs. At any rate. Okay, so here we have the artifact Eye of Doom. This is kind of the new Oblivion Stone in that it doesn't blow up everything, but when it comes into play, each opponent or each player picks a non-land permanent, and you put a Doom counter on it. A Doom counter. Get your Doom counters now. And then you can 2-tap it, sacrifice it, blow up each permanent with a Doom counter on it. So a common play will be to hit a Doom counter on your Eye of Doom. Because
I mean, you're going to
sack it anyway, so it doesn't mean anything. So that's pretty much no downside for you. But it gives black and red a way to deal with enchantments. It gives like blue a way to deal with artifacts besides stealing them or countering them. Like black and red have trouble with enchantments outside of Karn, Oblivion Stone, Chaos Warp, stuff like that. So it gives you another way to answer things. Yes, you don't get to pick what you answer, but if your opponent's just playing like a 5-drop on turn 5, you can play this 4, and then they have to pick their thing, and then you sacrifice it.
Yep.
So it's a Doom for all. And here we have, I think, my favorite art of these cards, Price of Knowledge. It's 7 mana, so we're not going to see a lot of playing constructed anytime soon. But it's Commander. It doesn't matter how much the mana costs. It says, players have no maximum hand size. So Okay.
Everyone gets a spell book.
Everyone gets a Vincer's Journal or a spell book
or a Reliquary Tower.
or Library of Latnam, but it don't matter.
Yep.
And then it says the beginning of each opponent, so yet again with Nekusar, they take damage, or it deals damage to equal to the cards in their hand. So these two guys are love letter made for each other. They almost curve in each other quite well. And if you have tons of cards in your hand, you just get sudden impacted every turn.
I really appreciate that card. I absolutely love the art. It makes me laugh every time I look at it because like he's got all these books.
He's happy.
He's not reading any more of them. His eyes are blown out. He's done.
He's done reading. Unless they're in Braille, he's pretty much he's done.
Yep.
So
his academic career has come to an abrupt end.
I mean, that's the price of knowledge at any cost. So these are the interesting cards from the Mind Seize deck, which I'll be doing battle with. So check in below for the games.